How many of you are familiar with wardrobing? I bet you I got your attention now. It's defined as purchasing a product for short-term use, then returning it for a full refund. Retailers argue it is a form of retail fraud because the item is used and will not go back on store shelves. I hate to giggle about this, but I cannot believe people are actually doing this. Unfortunately, with the Super Bowl just days away, we're likely to see just that happen more often than not. Hence, enter Bay Area-based B-Stock, a company that handles and resells returns for top consumer electronic retailers. Joining us to discuss just this and so much more is Kylee Hall from B-Stock. Hey, Kylee, good to see you and welcome to the show. So, Kylee, I got to tell you, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this wardrobing, and for about 5 minutes, producer Joey and I, we sat here giggling back and forth, knowing that people are actually doing this. I cannot believe it.
Yes, it is quite the phenomenon. A number of reasons people do it. One is to always have that fresh wardrobe. Another is people buying multiple sizes of things. So if you're talking about apparel, they might buy a couple sizes depending on how they did losing those holiday extra pounds, returning the size that doesn't fit. But for consumer electronics, it's also a thing.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl, people want that big screen TV. They want to have a great party host. They want to make sure all the people in the room can see what's happening. And they will buy a TV for an event like this and then return it just within a couple of days, weeks that go by.
Oh, my gosh. This is, oh, gosh. Okay, so let me get this. I'm looking at my notes. Last year alone, 110% jump in returned TVs from Q4 to Q1, meaning folks, to your point, are buying a TV, literally taking it out the box, setting it up. Heck, I would even assume or argue some folks are even putting it on the wall. You come over for the big game, and then you put it right back in the box, and off it goes. I cannot believe that.
It absolutely happens. And in fact, so yes, that 110% is accurate. And just to explain where that comes from, how we know it, B-Stock. So B-Stock works with the large retailers across the U.S., and so all of those returns, all of those items that have been wardrobed go back, get returned to those retailers, and it costs a lot of money to put them back on the shelf, get the box packed up, make everything look brand new and nice. And so instead of trying to get those items back on the shelf and take that time and effort to do so, they will sell it in bulk, so in truckloads and in pallets. And they will sell it on platforms like B-Stock, and then we in turn sell it actually to other businesses. So mom and pop shops, bin stores, a lot of online resellers out there. And so that's how we see all these items. And so in the months of February and March, we see the number of TV units double from that Q4 end of year period into this first part of the year.
Wow.
So a lot of TVs getting wardrobed and returned.
Yeah. Well, so I guess in essence, there is a positive side to all of this, and that is, I heard you make mention of mom and pop shops purchasing it. I mean, without this, perhaps they wouldn't have the opportunity to stay in business, and obviously you all are doing quite well as well. And so, I mean, there is a positive to all of this. It's just hard to believe that folks would be that crass, if you will, to repackage stuff and send it back. Now, I've done that with a shirt or maybe a suit, but never a TV, Kylee, never. And so with that being said...
I won't tell.
Well, I appreciate it. You touched on it very briefly, and that is what's known as the Super Bowl effect. And I'm hoping you could expand just a little bit more as many of us get ready to watch the big game.
Yes, I mean, the National Retail Federation just quoted saying that spend for this year's Super Bowl is going to reach the levels of about $20 billion just for that single day's event. This includes all of those food supplies, party supplies, as well as electronics going into it. So people are still making that large screen investment for watching the big game this weekend.
All right. So what about some advice for folks that perhaps they did it the right way, meaning they purchased the TV, but it happened to be the wrong TV. They really don't like it, and they plan to buy another one and or just return it and move on. Is there a certain way that they should approach this when they return to the retailer, let's say Target, Best Buy, what have you?
Yeah, each retailer has its own return policies. And again, retailers are doing this because it's become a competitive advantage and it drives consumer loyalty. The best thing consumers can do is just make sure they're aware of what those return policies are, the time frames, the way that the items need to be packaged, making sure to retain those receipts for the original purchase. All of those requirements really depend on the retailer. But again, these retailers are still fairly lenient with those policies because they want to drive that consumer loyalty and bring those consumers back.
Yeah, thank God for the guys and gals at B-Stock, because without you all, I tell you, it'd be so much more of a mess. And so we truly appreciate what you do and truly appreciate you joining us right here on the Live Zone. Yet again, we've been speaking with Kylee Hall with B-Stock. Thank you, Kylee.
Appreciate it, Guy.
You're welcome. All right, folks, you know the deal. If it's happening, and it's happening now in a major way. In this case, the rally that's